right, keep it going for Mary.
Okay. Yep. Okay, so first, full disclosure, I studied physics. I just didn't think chemistry explained enough or got to the point. Not to mention the fact that I sucked in chemistry lab. I was totally into the theoretical. Okay. In 1976, I'd been a student at the University of Texas at Austin. I grew up in the third poorest county in the USA in Stark County, Texas, 5,000 people. I now work at MD Anderson that has 20,000 people. It amazes me. Anyway, I get this scholarship to go to England to graduate school. And my sweet mother, as a parting gift, says to me, you know, it's really embarrassing to buy tampons at the store. So I'm gonna buy you a 3-year supply of tampons. Which she did, and I had this suitcase that was about half tampons. And then Rio Grande City is off on the hot spot of the country, a lot of really warm clothes. And I arrive in England. And I arrive in London, and this is going to get to chemistry. I arrive in London, and this guy that I had happened to meet says, oh, let me drive you up to your university. It's about 110 miles from London. And he gets me in this Mini, and we are immediately in this terrible car accident. Nothing is left but the front seat. Fortunately, I'm in the front seat. They whip me off to his doctor, and they give me some Valium and put me on the train. And I get to my university with my parents' suitcase that they've had since before my father was married that hardly closes now. Anyway, so I go off to my room, and in the morning I wake up and I look at this wrecked suitcase, and I'm a million miles from home. I mean, this is before email, this is before cell phones. A letter takes a week to get to my family and a week back. Like, Mom, I can't come home because I don't have a suitcase anymore. Anyway, and I throw everything out of the suitcase onto the floor, and I think, oh my God, I'll never get home, I don't have a suitcase. And I run up to the door of the proctor, and I knock on his door. It's a Sunday, and it's, I don't know, 8 or 9 or 10. And I'm just, I came from the United States, and I'm here for 3 years, and my suitcase is broken. I was in a terrible car accident, and I can't get it fixed. Do you think there's a suitcase repair person in town? I mean, I didn't even think of buying a new one. Anyway, and he says, well, it's Sunday, I don't think that anything's open, but why don't I come down and take a look at it? At which point, reality kind of sets in, and I realize that I have a floor covered in tampons. And so I'm like, no. It can wait. It really can wait until a little. And he absolutely insists and comes in, and I'm completely mortified. I mean, it's like my mother's worst nightmare, you know? Now it's all the tampons, and there's a guy. And I'm trying to kick them under the bed. But in England, they're very space conservative, and the drawers are under the bed, and there's no way for them to go. Anyway, needless to say, over the 3 years, although he had a girlfriend at the time, and I went through my endless, meaningless, tragic affairs, we fell in love. And at the end of my 3 years, I was writing my thesis, he was writing a book, and we had just a fabulous time. And he swears to me that he really never saw the tampons. And then came the end of my 3 years. Now, this was in 1979 was the end of my 3 years. This started in 1976, which was 39 years ago. And so we decided that love shouldn't get in the way of our careers, that we could do this and we could continue this as a long-term relationship. So I went to San Francisco and he stayed in England. And I was miserable in San Francisco, and I wrote back and I said, I've got a postdoc in Oxford. And he wrote back, no, we can't get in the way of our careers. We can only live in the same country if it's only temporary. And you know, I was 23, I threw the letter out, I said, okay, that's it. I went off and had another set of meaningless affairs. He went through a lesbian phase. I got married, I got divorced, We met again, almost came together. I was like, I'm not so sure. And then I got married again. And by this time, we'd kind of lost touch. And one day, I'm holding my youngest child. Uh-oh. I'm holding my youngest baby, and I'm just thinking, stream of thoughts. Oh my God, I'm not where I thought I was gonna be. I'm raising my husband's 2 kids by his ex-wife, and I'm raising 2 children. And this, and I was thinking about all kinds of things, and I don't know why Africa came up and Idi Amin came into my mind. And from Idi Amin, I transitioned to this man. There's a story behind that, but there's not enough time. And so from Idi Amin, I go and the internet is there now, and I look him up, and I find his email, and I email him. And what I can tell you is in this span of time we have brought back what we used to know. I'm no longer married to that husband. I don't know what's happening with him, but we Skype, and it's 39 years of what shows that when a chemical bond forms, it's tight when it's the real thing.